Good evening, 47. Your target is Alexios Laskaridis, known as the Drop. The nickname has shifted in meaning over time. He initially established himself in the techno scene as a DJ, but realized it would be easier and more lucrative to exploit his connections as a drug kingpin instead. His empire of music venues has become inextricable from his trafficking network. Both arose almost overnight, thanks to his appetite for violence. Laskaridis' methods are nearly too brutal to recount in full. Bloody suitcases, limbs washing up on riverbanks, and I shall leave it at that. Our client is a successful DJ who's understandably nervous about Laskaridis' expansion. They want to preserve their music scene just as much as they want to avoid ending up under the man's thumb. Fortunately, Laskaridis currently has his sights set on a familiar property in Berlin. Good luck.
Born in the early 1980s, Alexios Laskaridis' childhood was heavily influenced by the electronic music scene maturing alongside him. He spent his youth on the move with his family, both of his parents being tortured theater actors, but he was always able to turn to the world of music to keep him anchored. It was a lifestyle that led him easily into his own role on stage. In Laskaridis' case, it was the DJ booth specifically that called to him. This career kept him flexible. He was comfortable moving on with the seasons, going where the crowds and the work were, and never laying roots down too deeply. It worked for the most part, but in those gaps and hollows when it didn't quite come together, there was always a little bit of illicit work to be found nearby. Drug trafficking helped Laskaridis make ends meet, but he swore he would give it up once he'd built more of a following, or once he'd bought a club of his own.
He was a jealous up-and-comer from a privileged family who threw a wrench in these admittedly naive plans. Money was exchanged, and not long after, Laskaridis' hand was crushed under a poorly secured piece of stage decor. Although he would eventually make a full recovery, it came with a significant amount of downtime. Nevertheless, the bills had to be paid. While his skills as a performer risked atrophy, his connections and criminal talents were honed. When he made an inevitable comeback, many agreed that he wasn't quite the same. His hands seemed quite perfectly fine, but the experience had hardened him. He was laser focused now, but on what? Few could say. Clarity only came when the man who arranged his accident, an open secret in their tight social circle, disappeared, leaving behind only a single foot in a brand new sneaker on the side of the highway. Laskaridis' face became a less and less common sight on stage after that. The underworld had given him power when music had failed. His alliance shifted accordingly, and he had made his mission to dominate the scene in a manner where he knew he could seize the upper hand.
Good evening, 47, and welcome to Berlin. Tonight, you shouldn't have any trouble locating your target. He's keeping to the upper level of the club and doing very little to fly under anyone's radar. I haven't found any record of them crossing paths before, but I wonder if he's trying to bait the club's owner out of the back room for a meeting. Best of luck, Agent.
This operation's quite a juicy one, isn't it? Hundreds of people out in the middle of nowhere.
Strange.
That is Alexios Laskaridis. He should be here with one of his bodyguards, so...
This operation's quite a juicy one, isn't it? Hundreds of people out in the middle of nowhere. Captive market. And they're desperate for privilege.
I'm sure you know what you're doing. What I'm seeing is a jumbo-sized incentive for the owner to get in your way.
If I wasn't ready to deal with that, I'd be taking over some little sandwich up in Meeting instead.
There's got a lot of guys around here is all. They're like rats in a cellar.
Then let's stay out of the cellar. Hirschmiller won't ruin his own party. Come, we'll wait for our host in the back.
Oh, excuse me, sir. You dropped something. I don't think I noticed now.
Find a bathroom right now!
Oh? That looks bad. You okay?
Stop that. You're embarrassing yourself.
What? Keep it in.
Well done, 47. I'll inform the client while you make your escape.